A lot of times, we're out there fixing bad pavement, but we're also looking at why is the pavement bad. We don't just want to go pave the bad pavement, because within a year or two it'll be bad pavement again. So we're trying to correct what caused the bad pavement in the first place. 9 times out of 10, it's drainage. There's no place for the water to go, so the water is just sitting in the road. And water and pavement, they don't get along very well. So most of our projects, we've looked at the math, and as much as 40% of the cost of the project is tied up in drainage, and putting in drainage infrastructure. When you're redirecting water, you have to work with the property owners where that water ultimately is ending up. So we have to work with abutting property owners, we have to secure easements for whatever we're doing, and things like stormwater treatment, what it's going to happen to that water before it enters the stream. Those all become important factors. Pleasant Street is a little more involved. You have very large traffic volume. It's a main thoroughfare for the town of New Boston, so we had to work with the town of New Boston. They were nice enough to work with us and take a truck restriction off Parker Road so that we could detour through traffic coming from New Boston into Manchester. They're using the Parker Road as a detour to just get right around the Pleasant Street site, which was extremely helpful to us. So Pleasant Street, we probably worked on just the plans and the permits and the easements, it was 3 or 4 or 5 months before we actually got out there and got going on it. If you look, well, as a matter of fact, you look at the board behind me, that's this year's to-do list, but we have a lot of projects to do. In any given year, Public Works is the biggest dollar budget in the town budget, and it's most of our budget is projects. We don't have as much personnel as the other departments. Our money is more equipment, construction. That's what we do. Once we're there, almost every road is the same. Once you get into a full depth reconstruction, every project's very similar. We go in, as I mentioned earlier, you do the drainage pipes. We have to correct all those places where water is stuck on the pavement. Once that's done, we bring a big machine in that reclaims the old asphalt. Even though it's no longer good as a pavement, there's still a lot of rocks in there, and there's the asphalt that's been bound up over the years. We pulverize that, and that becomes, well, we call it reclaim, but it's a gravel layer. So even if the gravels under the pavement weren't that good before we got there, when that thing grinds down 10 inches or a foot into the ground and chews up all the asphalt and mixes it with the material under it, what it leaves behind is a very nice processed gravel. Budgeting the amount of money needed to do a road takes a lot of time. A small road is several $100,000. We do some roads that are $1.5 million, $2 million for a project. So a project that size, it takes time to budget, it takes time to design, it takes time to get all the easements and permits. So that's before we even have a hearing to show up and say, okay, now we're going to disrupt traffic for the next 2 months. It varies on where the project is, what the project is. I'll be honest with you, Addison Road, we had a design that we did a couple of years ago. It's been sitting on a shelf. A plan like that on a back road, we can probably turn around and crank out in a month and a half, largely because we've invested in GIS maps. We have very accurate layouts of all of our infrastructure and where our pipes are, so we don't have to hire a surveyor to go out and locate everything for us. We just have to confirm that, yep, the information we have is correct. That speeds things along a lot. Well, we try to do as much updating on the web page as we can. We have a construction area on the web page, and our engineering folks try to do at least weekly updates, if not even daily updates, if something important is happening. Every spring, once the budget is passed, once town meeting is passed, shortly thereafter, I go into the Board of Selectmen with our plan for the year. We don't go out publicly before town meeting with what we're planning to do until we're sure how much money we have to do it with. So typically right after town meeting, I go into the board. So if you really want to see what the list is, it's handed to the Board of Selectmen right after town meeting. So you go online, look on the minutes, a meeting or two after town meeting, and you probably could download the whole list of what our plan for the year is. When we're coming into a neighborhood, we try really hard to interact with that neighborhood specifically. We don't always go out town-wide and make announcements to everybody, but we use these little green door hangers that we go around. If we're going to go in and overlay a street, we'll try to get in there early and put door hangers with our business cards so people can call us if they have questions. If it's a bigger project, we usually have a neighborhood meeting, an informational meeting, and we'll invite everybody down and talk about what we're doing. Other than that, we try to get things out on the paper or GTV, as many places we can. Nixle, the police department helps us out with Nixle. So we're just always trying to get the information out there. But it's a big town and there's a lot going on.